First class trip across the Atlantic. Make sure you put them laces out. I've been out and about, and I'm loud cause I found another sound. And I'll pound on the ground for my guys across the pond. Kick is matter, that's their song. Trust me when that word is bone. Y'all can clap, clap, sing along. But on the real, they got some real deal analysis. Take the wheel, I think I feel like a catalyst for this build. You know your boy is never out of it. Matter of fact, I think I'll go and win a championship. KMWO, KMWO. Man, you know how this go. Yeah. KMWO. Kickers matter, world order. Man, y'all already know. Let's go.
Hello everyone, welcome along to the Kickers Matter Fantasy Football Podcast. I am joined as ever by two of my beautiful co-hosts, and Rich King is back, Mr. Kingy himself, Mr. I don't know, how are we going to introduce him now, guys? Mr. Steve Rainsbowl, Professor of Scoring. I don't know.
Spreadsheet nonce.
He's kind of a big deal because he works over at Fantasy Pros. So how you doing, Kingy?
I don't work at Fantasy Pros, just part of the experts. So yeah, I'm pretty good. Other than that, busy, but always happy to be busy when it comes to fantasy. So
good, mate. How are you doing, Jamie?
Not too bad, mate. Not too bad. You?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm the same as ever, same old. And Tim, you all good, mate, over there?
Mate, I'm spot on. Jamie's had a haircut.
Yep, he has.
When did I do that? Can't remember. At weekend, maybe.
He's took the syrup off.
And the beard.
So, boys, we are going to talk all Steve Rainsbowl again tonight. The drafts are finally finished, Tim. I think you are quite happy that yours is finished now.
Oh, my days.
I know mine was finished within 3 days of it starting. So, sorry, mate. It was a huge success. And I think we all owe Kingy a massive thank you, really.
Thank you,
for
Kingy.
For the scoring and every. When I say it was a success, I mean it was perfect for me. Everything about it.
I mean, I've literally done nothing yet. To be right, let's just be honest. I've done nothing yet. I've promised that I'm going to do a lot, but no, it was. I think it went well. It seemed like everyone seemed to be enjoying it. I somehow was able to be added into the commissioners chat, which was interesting. I just felt like an imposter, but no, it was good fun.
No, well, we had such good feedback from it, and it got the responses, like it got the happy response, but then you also got people saying, oh, Jesus Christ, I've never seen a league like this before, and I've had to take a tight end like Dallas Goddard, sorry, Alan, in the 5th round. It did everything we set out as a podcast for it to do.
It was carnage. You know, that's what you wanted. It was absolute mayhem, and we're gonna obviously go into it tonight. But the differences league to league is what we wanted, right?
Yeah.
And no two drafts are ever the same, but they normally follow a similar path. I mean, normally the top 10, top 8 picks, just in maybe like slight changes of order. But there was some big surprises in this, and everyone had fun. I know. We just made a joke about my league finishing last, and it did take quite a while. But we had Americans in the league who they've had a great time. They've loved the scoring and loved what's happened with the draft because of that. And then it has been a success so far, and I think it'd be great fun to see people in the chat and banter throughout the season as well, as long as it all goes ahead as planned.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, we have got plans. If it doesn't, everyone that got in this year will be back for next year if that's the case. It's not. We won't be changing anything there. But
we'll do a vote
Jamie,
on best roster and worst roster as well for a laugh, and we'll give them a booby prize each.
well, I mean, we're going to take a look. Well, Kingy, we're going to take a look at the ADP tonight.
Yeah, we can do. I can bring it up right now if you want. Yeah.
So we're going to take a look at the ADP tonight and the spread between some players. I mean, we've seen some. We had a quick look before we come on, and I've never seen a league like it. Jamie?
What about me? My pudding.
Jamie's eating ice cream or something.
No, I'm eating Nestle Le Latier Creme au Ouf. It's basically like a custardy French.
I thought you were Frank LeBouf for a second then, mate.
What with that haircut?
And that French obviously pronunciation. No, mate, it was nuts. Especially because obviously in the commish chat there'd be one person going, "Oh, I've had to take this player here," and everyone else is like, "You went like 7 rounds later in ours."
Yep.
It was bonkers. Good fun, but bonkers.
Yeah, as we've said, it was perfect. And I mean, we're going to talk about ADP. You won't see a league that a wide receiver doesn't go in the first round anywhere, except here. That happened. There was not one single wide receiver taken in the first round of 10 drafts. 8 drafts. There
was one.
Was there one? Oh, yeah. Kingy's lying to me.
No.
Kingy?
In my draft.
In your draft?
Michael Thomas went 1-7.
You sure?
I'm looking at the completed draft on my phone.
I might cry then.
Right.
Don't tell me there's a type girly gremlin in here.
Oh, Kingy.
Did everyone see that? Michael Thomas.
Let's have a look.
Right there.
I did as well, didn't he? Prick.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay, no. I'll tell you what, no. I'll tell you what I was doing was I was looking. So that, this thing, Jack, actually looks at the ADP.
So the average position.
Average position. So the average position for wide receiver was that there weren't. But yeah, Michael Thomas was taken twice in the first round. My bad.
Even that's bonkers.
I mean, that's still bonkers. You'd expect maybe Devontae Adams to go in the first round as well in a lot of fantasy leagues. So you're not going to see that often.
Apparently, you should go instead of the 101 for Patrick Mahomes, but I'm not going to dig into that.
Sorry.
Moving on.
So, Kingy, the consensus 101. I mean, was it Kelsey?
Yeah, it was Kelsey. So let me bring the sheet up now. So So it was actually really close between McCaffrey and Kelsey. They kind of flip flop. Now what I should say is in my division, I was able to pick him up at 5, which massively skewed his number.
Yep.
But yeah, as an average, it was pretty much Christian McCaffrey or Kelsey went 1 or 2. Flip flop between different divisions, but
yeah. You took Barkley, didn't you, Tim, at the 101?
I think I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you lose a bet or something, or?
No, just fancied it with the scoring because and this will sound really strange. I mean, Jack, we said it before the draft, and we've said it on Twitter and stuff like that. If you don't take a risk in this, your team's not going to be set apart from other people. And my big risk, because I don't really see Barkley as a risk, was I actually think that Evan Ingram, if he stays healthy, will be the top scoring tight end in this format. And I knew I'd get him on the way back round at either the 210 or the 301, and I did. I took that gamble. So for me, I knew I was taking a sure thing in Barkley, and I fancy Barkley to be better than McCaffrey this year as well. I really do.
I mean, I'm not going to shoot you down there for that. That was some echo there. I don't know what's going on there. No, I mean, I'm not going to shoot you down for taking Barkley at the 101.
I would have.
Jamie?
People
I would have taken him 101.
You wouldn't have.
I would have.
Mahomes took at the 101 at all?
Mahomes was not taking it at 1-1. The best he was taking it was at 3. He was taking it 3 in 3 divisions.
And we must say that this was 2 QB, not Superflex. So there is a big difference.
Yeah, huge difference. And with it being best ball as well, there's not really, there's no adjustments in the season, so you really need to make sure that you get a number of quarterbacks to fill those slots.
Yeah.
Preferably not in the same bye week.
Yeah.
Yeah, preferably
Plenty
not in
did
the
it.
same bye week.
Plenty did it.
How many leagues didn't take those 2? Is mine the only one? The 101 that either McCaffrey or Kelsey was taking?
No, he was taken. McCaffrey was taken first in ours.
Yeah, so yours was the only league where it wasn't Kelsey or McCaffrey.
Yeah. Like that.
I mean, Tim, like back to your Evan Ingram thing. I wasn't. I was picking at the 106. Thankfully, Mark Andrews come to me at 106, but I did say beforehand that I would have taken, if the top 4 had gone, I would have took Evan Ingram at the 106 in this scoring format. And then I got sniped the pick before on the way back for him. I was fuming.
Well, that's the thing. Like this draft more than any other. Like I just couldn't really. Like I was speaking to Ben, who I speak to quite a lot about this, and he was like, we were like, "Have you done?" He said to me, "Have you done any prep?" And I'm like, "No, I'm literally just going to hit buttons, because there's there's nothing you can do for this because it's not a league like any other. Like with the way that the roster's constructed and the scoring, like we said it, I think in the live stream on Twitter before the draft started. I can't fault any way of. You want to go 0 RB, I can see it. You want to go QB heavy, I can see it. Tight end heavy, I can see it. Like, there's not really a way of drafting that I'd be completely off board with.
Yep. No, I agree. I mean, we said earlier before we come on, like you can't fault someone like doing what you've done, Jamie. You took Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. You can't fault that to the 2 QB league.
I didn't plan to or didn't plan anything. He just fell there, and it was like you kind of have to take them.
You can't. Alan done the same, but I think the problem with Alan's division when we've just seen the what happened there before we come on, but Alan's tight end nuts. So he went Jackson Mahomes, but then it forced him to take Dallas Goedert in the 5th round. And I remember in the commissioner chat, he was laughing about it, but he was livid at the same time.
He was fuming. And I mean, I think the tight end variation will be one of the most interesting off this because, I mean, wasn't it in Alan's division, did you say before, Kingy, that there was 9 in the first, 9 tight ends taken in the first
14? Yeah, it was really that heavy. Yeah, it was super heavy.
Alan had to take Lamar Jackson there, but he's also reading the tight end run. That's you can't legislate for that.
No.
Wrong draft.
No, you can't, and that's where for me, we can't fault anyone for drafting the way they did, but it was just I personally think that we actually nailed it on every level with the roster and the scoring for that reason.
Yeah, that's the thing. It gave so many variations on strategy. But I think it was just really enjoyable because it feels to me like regardless of how you drafted, you're probably in with half a shout unless you did something really weird, like, took a number of quarterbacks on the same bye week and only took a handful of them.
Yep.
Jamie, you're on mute, mate.
Don't know what you're talking about. I was just practicing stretching my jaw out.
Why that? Is it in for some action later?
Yeah, you need to send me your address, mate. I still haven't got it.
Cool. I look forward to that.
Oh dear. mean,
So are we going to go through the spreads of certain players for the ADP? Is that the next?
yeah, we can do. Can you get the spreads up and we just have a look at each position and then we see who's the widest on QBs, widest on running backs, widest on all the positions basically.
Yeah. So what I've done here, and this will be available probably. When's this going out? Tonight or tomorrow?
Tomorrow morning it'll be out.
Yeah, so it'll probably be around by the time this is out, if not later that day, probably. For anyone to have a look at that wants to.
You've done a great job with this, by the way.
Yeah, brilliant.
Fantastic job.
Is this just thought I'd butt in here? Is this Zoom recording going to be chucked on YouTube so people can watch it if they want to?
YouTube so that people can access the
Cool.
spreadsheet as well.
So they can see exactly what we're talking about.
And you stretching your jaw.
Yeah, exactly.
So who have we got widest at QB?
So widest at QB, I think was Tyrod Taylor. Now what I'll do is I'm gonna pull this over to the side so I can have a look at the exact spreads as we're talking as well. So at QB, I think the widest spread was Tyrod Taylor because I think he was actually one of the highest spreads in the entire thing. He had a spread of over 100. I'm pretty sure it was.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he had 102 difference. He was taken at the 102, 102nd pick in Antonio Gates, and the 204th in Julius Thomas, which is Tim's league. And then the other ones who had a widespread were the Bears duo of Nick Foles and Mitch Trubisky. But I think that's probably more to do with the uncertainty of who's going to be the starter, because obviously me and Tim actually have a little wager on who's going to be the starter for the Bears.
It'll be Foles.
Who's going to start the most out the opening 7 games, I think.
And who's got who?
I've got Trubisky.
And what's the bet?
I agree.
It's a bear bet.
Well done, Rich. Well done, mate.
Can I jump in on this?
Yeah, of course you can.
I'm going the Trubisky side.
Screw it. I'll come on your side, Tim. Not Tim, Rich. I'm saying Foles.
There we go.
There we go. Right. I'll update.
And this, I presume, this is without Foles potentially opting out.
Yeah, we said it was a push, but
yeah.
To be fair, we said injury. Opting out is different because this is Rich's only beer bet. So unless he makes,
he's going to get involved with more.
Yeah,
almost guarantee.
So I can see Cam Newton's got a bit of a spread there as well.
Yeah, I think Cam Newton again had a bit of a spread, but I think what we're saying is just where there's been uncertainty with the position.
Yeah.
Like I know Jamie thinks that Stim's still going to be the starter there. So Cam Newton had a spread of 78. So I mean the top 5. Let's just reel them off the top 5. So the top 5: Tyrod Taylor, Nick Foles, Mitch Trubisky, with around about a spread of 100. And then you have a bit of a drop off to the next 4, 70 plus. So Cam Newton had a spread of 78, Jordan Love a spread of 74, Ryan Fitzpatrick 70, and Jared Stidham 70 as well. So it's just where you've got uncertainty in who's going to be the starter.
I love shit like this because I absolutely love it because you start digging into people's psyche and like where it goes and it's bonkers. But look at the spread on Kirk Cousins and Matt Stafford. Like that, for Matt Stafford, that's a huge spread, and I'm not sure if that's just because he's took early, but in one league he is took really late for where Stafford would go. I mean, we're all big Stafford lovers on this pod.
Yeah,
that's a big old spread when you compare it to Carson Wentz. Like it's triple or just over double the spread of Carson Wentz. And to me, I'm like, there's more uncertainty around Carson Wentz than there is Matt Stafford, to me.
Yeah, I think it's just... I think things like this, really, what they highlight to me is people's certainty on offenses and how effective they'll be. So, I mean, the guys that have the narrowest range, at the position were Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Russell Wilson.
Kyle Allen and Andy Dalton.
Yeah, they were only taking one league. So
Desperation,
that's
especially Carl Allen.
yeah. I just put those as
I've seen
little
the
dots
roster with,
just to show that they were actually there.
I've seen the roster with Dalton on as well.
Great pick.
I actually don't mind. I don't mind Carl Allen coming.
I don't.
Like going there with Riviera. There's uncertainty around Haskins.
I've been picking him up in any dynasty leagues I can, to be fair, just because I think he's got a good chance of coming in and doing well like he did last year. For where you can get him is great as well.
I think he's worth a stash.
He's worth a stash. I think Alex Smith's got more of a chance of playing than he does.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I think it'd be interesting to see what would have happened if the news about Alex Smith's return.
Yeah.
If
I mean,
before.
I'd love Alex Smith to come back.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Just one point on, and I'd like to get everyone's point for what Rich just mentioned when he was talking about people being more comfortable with certain offenses. Are you more comfortable with the Lions offense, and take away, don't trust the Lions for a second, the Lions offense and the offensive players that Stafford can throw to, opposed to the fact that Carson Wentz has got a load of people opting out and there's nobody really to throw to anyway?
Like, 1,000,000% the Lions. Even if the Eagles had a full strength squad, I would still pick the Lions. 100%.
I think I side with the Lions, and I think everyone knows my feelings on the Lions as well. So, I would definitely side with the Lions.
And so I think it's really interesting that Carson Wentz is taken in with such a short spread than Stafford. I think that's, when we're looking for anomalies in this, I think that's a really good one. There should be some really good comparisons as we go on.
Stafford's underrated. Stafford is an underrated quarterback.
Oh, God, yes.
In my opinion. And Carson Wentz is slightly overrated, in my opinion. And I think these have the spread here has shown significantly between the two that Stafford. Who do you want on their day that you have to win a game? Who do you want as your quarterback, Matt Stafford or Carson Wentz?
Matt Stafford in a dome, especially.
Yeah.
Redraft or dynasty, I'm going Stafford. No questions. Yeah. But I'm obviously a little bit biased.
Yeah. I mean, dynasty, I'd go Carson Wentz, but redraft, definitely Stafford.
Cool.
I can't trust Matt Patricia. I think he's a fucking clown. So.
I think, just talking about Patricia quickly, I think it's similar to in Green Bay. I don't think you can really trust Matt LaFleur, but you think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a great season because he's just going to ignore what LaFleur says. I suspect Matt Stafford will just do the same. His first 5 games of last season, or 8 games before he was injured, he was unbelievable. Don't listen to Patricia. Throw the ball to your wide receivers. That's all you got to do.
I just compare Patricia to Gase. I put him on the same level as Adam Gase.
Is the Lions? They've got Bevel now. Is it Darrell Bevel as the OC?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's going to improve their running game significantly as well.
That could hurt Stafford. So.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely could. It's just it's on the flip side as well. I think they haven't had a 1,000-yard runner since Reggie Bush in 13-11 or something, wasn't it? So I think I don't know. I don't know if he did.
No, I don't think he broke 1,000.
No,
he's never been fit.
No, he's not. I mean, he's so young though, still. So
yeah.
Let's move on to the running backs then. And yes. I can see a big spread on Jonathan Taylor there.
Holy mother of God!
Yeah. So this was interesting. So Jonathan Taylor and Cam Akers had the biggest spread at the position. So Cam Akers was at a spread of 94. Jonathan Taylor had a spread of 93.
What was Kevin Coleman's? Because I know this.
84. So he's on the next slide.
Yeah, I was about to say because the news, most of the news come out him wanting a trade. It was literally like 3 picks before me. I was like,
Yeah, that was the same with Cam Newton, actually. When we were doing these drafts, Cam Newton got signed by the Patriots. So,
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it might be indicative of how different drafts went, because obviously we know that like the Delaney Walker division went tight end heavy really early, whereas others kind of held off a little bit. But I think what you see, especially with the likes of Cam Akers, where he was drafted 48 in Delaney Walker, which is the 4th round, and 142 in Dallas Clark, which would be what, the 14th?
yep.
Oh, hold on.
he's taken the 14th in mine, 14-4.
In Delaney Walker, there was 9 tight ends taken in the first 14, 15 picks. And then you're telling me Cam Akers went in the what, the 4th?
Can you get that draft up? And
Yeah, I'll bring it up. One sec.
Can we have a look at the running backs that went after?
That is ridiculous in the 4th. As I said, he went the 14th in mine.
I mean, I like Cam Akers. I like Cam Akers a lot.
Yeah, Cam Akers went here 5'8".
Henderson went before Akers in mine. Jeez.
So Leonard Fournette went after him, and Carson. Yeah, I mean, for me, I would in this format, I would definitely take the other two.
By about 7 or 8 rounds.
Where DeAndre Swift went in comparison? Like, I love Cam Akers, but you can't do that.
Oh, so Jonathan Taylor went after as well.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor went like nearly a whole round.
Todd Gurley and Melvin. I mean, you can say what you want about Todd Gurley, but there's no competition there for him. I know, Jamie, you're not a big fan, but I mean, are we really considering that fucking Brian Hill and Ito Smith are competition for Todd Gurley?
I'll tell you one thing, mate. If Gurley keeps talking like he's talking, they won't need any competition because Gurley won't be playing.
I don't know what he's doing. I've not seen him do anything.
He was questioning about how everything's going, and he was a bit kind of like, well, I don't think it'll work out or something like that. So yeah, just be a little bit wary on Gurley.
James Conner went late as well. Jesus. 703.
Mostert went 11. Jeez. James White, that's good value there for me, 13th.
Yeah, that's great value, to be fair.
I think you did that, didn't you?
Sorry?
Where did you get James White?
I got James White late. I think I got him in the 12th round. Pretty sure I got him in the 12th round in my draft. So
I'll have a look where he went in mine. Yeah, James White went the 14th in mine. End of the 14th.
nice.
Jeez.
Yeah, I think he went in the 12th because I was going to take Cohen on the way back, and then someone sniped me again. So
Thing is, for me, White and Cohen in this format, they're money because
it's
so many targets. Because if
it's
people
why I
weren't
took
aware,
Austin Eckler.
if people weren't aware, then you get points for targets as well, and that'll double up on reception. So if you get reception, you get a target and a reception.
I took Austin Eckler on the way back in the 2nd round, so it's exactly the same reason why I did that.
What I found quite interesting, and I don't know if it's just because I don't think Chubb is going to be the main guy for the whole season with the Browns, but he was taken really high, and his spread is really quite narrow as well. And then you look at Kareem Hunt, and his spread is huge.
Yeah.
And I actually think Kareem Hunt will actually end up. I think by middle of season he'll be the starter for that team, like at the latest.
I mean, I just see it as I mean, I don't think I'd see Kareem Hunt would be is better. I'd say he's better for this format. But I personally believe that you're just going to get a Kamara and Ingram, like what we have with the Saints, where I think they're both going to be fantasy relevant. But I think definitely in this scoring, Hunt is the guy you want over Chubb.
I've said it before. I think Hunt, fantasy-wise, is potentially going to be better than Chubb. And I see them both being starters, but I just see where Hunt's going to get a load of joy is in the red zone.
I'm a massive Chubb fan. So he's so talented as a running back.
I just think so. The reason why I'm kind of against him is I think they've got a pretty rough start to the start of the season, and I think if Chubb seems to like he's struggling, what will end up happening is the schedule will play against him, and the team will decide to rotate in Hunt when the schedule gets a bit easier. And Hunt is talented as well. I mean, let's not forget he's not that many seasons removed from being the leading rusher for the league. And then once he gets the reins of that, then he will just be running away with it. That's how I see it unfolding.
Interesting.
I'm not.
Maybe it's just, no. I really do like. For me, Nick Chubb's a very special running back. But like I just said to you, out of the two in this format, I'd want Kareem Hunt, and you can get him cheaper.
Yeah. I think the spread on Mixon there is interesting as well.
Yeah, I think that just goes to show you the uncertainty with the Bengals, because this off-season is really weird and it's going to have some really skewy effects. So the fact that the Bengals have got a rookie QB who, 100% he knew he was going to be a Bengal before the draft, right? But these guys have not had time to play with him and get used to him, and he equally hasn't had time in the NFL yet. So we don't truly know what he's going to be like.
I completely agree. In that scenario, there's two people that benefit from that, and it's the tight end and the running back. And they don't really have a tight end.
True.
So the big benefit for all of the change in this off season is for Mixon. I think we talked about it on the pod this year. I mean, in a draft I've just done, he went at the 2-9, and in fact it might have been this. Let me check, because I'm sure I got sniped on Mixon. I'm not sure if it was this league.
Yeah, you did get sniped, and I know you were fuming.
I was raging 2-9. It was in this, and I think that's where the spread's come from. So I was like, I cannot believe he's going to fall to me at the 2-10. He got took the pick before.
So you got sniped at 2-9 on Mixon. I got sniped on Mixon. I was planning on taking him. I got sniped. He was taken at the 1-8. So I was going to take him at the 1-9.
And that's the best thing about this. I've honestly never seen a draft like this unfold in all the different leagues.
No, I mean, the thing is, so typically when I've seen these types of things put together, you tend to see really narrow bars at the top, and then they get wider and wider and wider. And here, you have a couple of players where they're narrow, but generally, they just get nuts around this mid-range. And it continues over with like the kind of backups, as where you'll see narrow bars, if you're seeing this on YouTube, is where a player was only taken in one or two leagues. So if it's really narrow like this, then they were only taken in one league. So someone decided that Kyle Juszczyk was worth an ad, which is a bold strategy. So
what was David Montgomery's kind of spread?
Montgomery.
Interesting, Jamie, because you just took him as your RB1 or 2 in another league.
I took him as my RB2 in this as well, and I took him as my RB2 in the Scott Fishbowl Dynasty League. I'm all over Montgomery this year. There is nothing there in Chicago which tells me that he will not have 250 plus carries this year.
So he's actually got quite a narrow spread. So it's a spread of 23, which sounds quite high, but when you consider that there's 19 players that have a tighter spread than he does.
I took him at the start of the 8th, and I'm happy with him as my RB2.
Do you think he outscores Cohen massively?
Pardon?
You think he outscores Cohen massively?
I wouldn't say he outscores Cohen massively. I just think that he's locked and loaded for the workload. Cohen is more likely going to see the majority of the targets, but I was thinking if Foles is going to be there starting, I think it will benefit Montgomery a little bit more than it would Cohen. And with Cohen, it's very sporadic, as he was last year, scoring wise, how he could be. I don't know. I'm probably I might be a little bit too high on Montgomery, but I think he's in for a good year this year.
I mean, for me, I I've swerved Monty because I don't really like getting bitten like I did last year on Monty, and but I've always liked Cohen, and for me, like Cohen in best ball is mega because he has those weeks. Yeah, and I think Rich, you said it before. With a lot of these picks, you only need them to have 3 weeks, and Cohen's like the epitome of that. He'd be RB1 for a week, like it wouldn't shock you, but then he'd be RB32 the week after.
Did you see that on Twitter yesterday about Cohen and the wide receivers that he had more targets than last year?
Really?
Yeah, I can't remember them all off by heart. I know one was Diggs. The list was crazy. It was a really like mad list.
Got more
Well, he had 104 targets last year.
Yeah, but it was like he had more targets than Diggs. I know that.
He had 104. I've got a stats database open right now, so
okay. I'm only going by what I saw on Twitter. I mean, I don't know how 100% true is. There was like 4 or 5 wide receivers.
All right. So if he had, so on less than, so he had 104. You say, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's choose one receivers.
I think he had 79 receptions.
Okay, so he had more targets than Christian Kirk, D.D. Westbrook, DK Metcalf, Emmanuel Sanders, Robbie Anderson, Damian Dola, Stephon Diggs, Calvin Ridley, Terry McLaurin, Marvin Jones.
Yeah. That is mad. That's
Tyreek Hill, AJ Brown.
Tyreek who?
Tyreek Hill, GOAT. AJ Brown, Debo Samuel, Slayton. Yeah,
I mean,
quite an
that is
extensive
mad.
list.
That is mad.
But his yards per target were low. Even it doesn't really matter, obviously, in this.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
He was like 4 yards a target.
I just found it quite an interesting stat when I saw it. I was just like, wow.
I had a stat, not talking about Cohen, but about, I think it was Travis Kelce, that I think last year in fantasy, I think in PPR, he was a top 12 wide receiver in scoring. But
it wouldn't surprise me.
But he was also a top 12 running back in scoring. which is bonkers.
I mean, he had 97 receptions, so it's pretty. Yeah, that's like similar kind of level to like Allen Robinson, more than Amari Cooper, more than Devontae Parker, more than Landry, who's always thought of as a like PPR machine.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at these wide receivers then. See what the spread is here.
So the spread on the receivers is a bit weird because obviously, as we're talking about like the spreads on these other positions, the spread with the wide receivers was a little bit narrow, like a little bit wider with a couple of exceptions, being ridiculously wide. But generally, quite a lot of the players fell within a similar kind of width. I mean, if we just work down the list, like just looking at the bars, like it's the exact same scale on all of these charts. So you can see like they're just as narrow as each other pretty much the whole way down. DK Metcalf is quite an exception. I think he was taken. He had like one result that was just ridiculous though. So he was taken he was taken 21st pick in Jason Witten. That might even be me.
Do we know why? Everyone knows the reason.
I don't hate that.
Because his missus knew who he was, apparently.
Oh, that wasn't me then. That wasn't.
I mean, no, but I don't hate the gamble on DK because, I mean, he's the deep bomb guy. If the Seahawks are going to throw more this year, then
the thing is, like, I don't hate it, but I hate where he's taking him.
Oh yeah, but we've also got to say there is no right or wrong there. Like, we said that. Yeah. We said that at the start, and
apart from Chase Claypool in the 8th.
Well, yeah, that is a bit.
It's a bit racy. I
Yeah,
mean, like,
he-
okay, so he was the. I mean, this is a draft board here. So he was taken 3-1. So Julio was taken after him.
yeah. See,
Chris
Wow.
Godwin, Mike Evans.
I mean, he is a Seahawks fan by the looks of it.
Yeah, he is a Seahawks
Oh,
fan.
cockles! Come on, mate. Really?
But yeah, I mean, it seems a bit high for me, to be honest. But
He was taken 4 rounds before Kenny Golladay.
yeah,
You think
Are
that's
you
high?
shitting me?
I saw DK Metcalf go as the 109 in a startup Bevy League. I mean,
I mean,
I'm telling the truth. The 109. It wasn't me.
I mean, you've got to really like him, haven't you? Do you know what I mean? Like we always say on this pod, you go and get your guy, but I mean, go and get him, your missus' guy is a bit weird. But like, getting him in a Devy League at 109. I mean, you're wasting your pick there. I mean, he could be what the wide receiver one in 2-3 years. We don't know, but
I mean, listen, with DK, last year I was against him. I thought he was going to be Kevin White coming into the league. He still might be. He might be a one-hit wonder. But this is going back to rookies where they land. He landed in the perfect situation.
Yeah. Good. This draft that's on the back here, was CeeDee Lamb really taken before DJ Moore?
yep.
Wow.
is that wrong?
Yeah.
Wow.
But isn't that what has made this interesting? Because, like,
What the fuck?
yeah, I know, but we tried, like, we trying to be inclusive with this. Like, we want everyone to get involved in it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
in it. And it's not like, I mean, we could have just gone out and said, oh, like, we want 80 analysts, and then I don't think we're getting these results that we got.
No, yeah, absolutely wouldn't. I mean, the reason I said was that Ronnie, because any draft where I'm about to take CD, Ronnie takes him. Doesn't matter when it is, he takes him before me. So I dislike you, Ronnie, for that.
Good boy, Ronnie.
But I mean, Stu. I mean, you've gone CD Lamb and Chase Claypool at the 7 and the 8, mate. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
bold strategy, Cotton.
yeah, I mean,
let's see
when
if
you
it pays off.
I mean, it might do, but I mean, when you
What, in
consider
a couple of years?
the players that were on that were still there. I mean, you had Adam Thielen, Tyler Lockett, Stefan Diggs, Juju, AJ Brown, DJ Chark.
Keep going down that board because I'll
Very-
find someone in the 17th round or 18th round, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I mean, as a result, Chase Claypool had, I think, the highest spread for receiver, which isn't really yeah, he had a spread of 145, which is not a shock. It's not a shock when you consider, because he was taken kind of in the same range in the other places where he was drafted. I mean, he wasn't even drafted in all of the leagues. So in Mark Andrews, Rob Gronkowski, and Dallas Clark, he wasn't even picked up. So apart from Jason Witten, where he was taken 73, Antonio Gates 186, Julius Thomas was 167, Tony Gonzalez 218, and Delaney Walker 211. I mean, you can even see that. I mean, when you just look here, you can just see that bar is just huge.
Where's Jameson Crowder on that list?
So you know where?
Oh, there he is.
Look at the other picks. Then, if you were taking a pick and you had Edelman or Claypool, it might be a little bit of a toss up. But you're likely to go Edelman just because you know what you're going to get from Edelman.
Points.
Yeah.
I love N'Keal Harry in that offense this year.
10 rounds difference. That's staggering. And you know what? I actually really like Claypool this year. I do think he's going to be. I think he's going to be brilliant. I don't think he's going to be that round brilliant, but I think he's going to be brilliant. So yeah, let's see if it pays off, Stu. I like the bold move.
I mean, yeah, but that's what it's all about as well. We've said that you're gonna have to do something out of the ordinary. I mean, that is very out of the ordinary, but you're gonna have to do something out of the ordinary to win this.
I felt a little bit silly for taking Barkley at the 101 before, and I'm not so much anymore.
No, I think you're all right there, mate.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, no one's going to shoot you down for taking Barkley at 101.
I was actually quite shocked that I didn't take Michael Pittman the earliest in all of the drafts. So I was actually beaten because
You got sniped.
No. I did get him in my roster, but he was taking it the 118th pick in the Julius Thomas division.
I've got to tell a little bit of the truth as well. Is that somebody was going to take Pittman to snipe you as well.
I'll take to snipe me.
Yeah.
I just quit.
And I was having a conversation. I was like, oh, by the way, Rich really likes him, and and he didn't. And then he took him like this. He did the couple of picks.
I was doing that on the like the pre-show, like live Twitter before it kicked off. I was like, oh yeah, Jamie likes this player. Jamie likes that player.
I'm trying to see if I got sniped at any positions.
I was like, oh, he loves Chris Carson.
It was Steve Chamberlain in your division, didn't you?
No, Steve. Oh yeah, yes, he was.
Yeah, I'm sure it was Ned, and he was like, I didn't pick him, and then he come back round and he'd gone to you. So I was like, as Rich took him, he was like, yeah, I was like, there you go.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking to take him like a lot earlier, but because it's that thing of right, get your guys. But I left him up there for a little bit, so I got him in the 13th round after taking all of the quarterbacks.
I mean, you talked me into him as well, Rich.
Can you give us your steer on him? Because, you know, as much as this is about the Steve Rainbow, I think, you know, takes by somebody like yourself on players like that will help other people in drafts or trades.
Yeah, so my thing with Pittman is I really like him, especially in this format, because we've seen before that Philip Rivers just doesn't. If he has a big body receiver in the red zone, then he'll look to him often, and there isn't really a big body receiver in the Colts offense. I mean, I know someone's probably going to say Jack Doyle, but he's not the same. He's not going to have the same advantage over his defender, and I think Pittman will end up being a really high finisher in fantasy this year. But I don't think that if you own him, you're going to be particularly happy, because I think it's going to be really lumpy, because it'll be
great for best ball though.
Great for this, and that's kind of why I was really happy to take him, because I think you'll have games where he'll have, 6 receptions with 2 touchdowns, and then he'll have games where he'll have 2 targets, and it'll be really frustrating to own him if you have him in any kind of redraft or dynasty that's not best ball. But I really like him, and I've got him on a lot of my rosters, because to me, players like that are perfect for trading away, if nothing else. Because if you can get someone to buy in on that boom week, then you're set. You can massively get a haul in a trade for them. So,
what do you think Paris Campbell's impact on him is?
Completely different players, to be honest. Like, Pittman he's been a deep threat, but he's just that kind of like, just put it up and I'll get it.
Yeah.
Like an X.
Yeah,
and the thing is, it's just for me, it's just the perfect fit with that quarterback, because Philip Rivers just, he said it in interviews, he doesn't care about his stats.
Mm-hmm.
So he will just put it up. I mean, we've seen time and time again when he was with the Chargers, big body receivers that he can get an early rapport with. That's it. It's lights out. I mean, I think Pittman could be in for a similar kind of season to Eric Ebron in terms of the number of touchdowns that he scored in that offense.
Well, I hope so, because you certainly talked me into him for this. So.
I can see Jamie thinking about what I'm saying.
Just with regards to Pittman, I like him as a prospect as well. I just think I don't think. You just better hope that Zach and that Pascal doesn't start the season well, because he'll be. I think he did all right last year. I think
you won't let this train die, will you?
What is that, Pascal? I'm not
Yeah,
massively high on him.
It's every year. Pascal.
I just think that he's a little bit underrated. I think if he starts with he knows the offense. If he gets a good rapport with Rivers, I think it will delay Pittman. Does that make sense? Because I think they're going to be fighting over the same position.
Yeah,
I
I mean, it makes sense to me. I'm
Pittman's
not
a better prospect, yes.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not as in on Zach Pascal as.
Oh, neither am I, mate. I'm not. Trust me.
He is.
But I just looking at I think the rookies this year are going to be very, very slow starters.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at Zach Pascal's Pro Football Reference.
Bedazzled.
Yeah, I'm just amazed.
But it's for me, it's the same situation as like the Jets. You've got Denzel Mims come in. He's a good prospect, but he's going to be fighting with Rashard Perryman for basically that kind of position. And Perryman's a vet. He's going to probably know a lot more than Mims. So Mims probably will edge his way in later as later the season goes. But I think it's the same situation as the Colts for me.
That's fair. Yeah, fair.
Cool. Let's get stuck into the Holy Grail, Jack.
Yeah, let's get into the tight ends. And as we've discussed, it did go batshit crazy in most leagues, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I mean, Tyler Higbee's a standout for me. Let's start with him.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler Higbee had a pretty widespread as well, and I think again you're just seeing, uncertainty with where people think, because there's this whole debate: is Tyler Higbee the guy, or is it going to be Cooper Kupp? I know Cooper Kupp's a wide receiver, but it seems like their destinies are kind of intertwined. Yeah, Gerald Everett's a good shout as well. I think I actually took who's the rookie that went there?
Brian
Hopkins.
Hopkins, yeah.
Hopkins,
I took Hopkins late after Gerald Everett put out like a really quick cryptic tweet, and I needed tight end help. I think it was something like, I can't even remember, but it basically made me think, oh, is he after a trade? So I took him in the hopes that he might, but yeah, I mean, I'm not as in on Higbee as everyone seems to be. Like, I'm really not. I'm
the same as you, mate.
I don't understand it. It's not even just do I prefer him or Everett. It's more just I can wait and get like Hayden Hurst, who I much prefer.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't they use a second round pick on Everett?
Yeah.
Yeah, possibly.
I listened to some of the first fantasy podcasts I've listened to in ages, in a long while today, and I heard something they were talking about the Rams and the tight ends, and a very good point was made that Higbee is a much better blocking tight end than Everett is, and Everett is a much better kind of receiving big body tight end than Higbee. And they think that Everett could be used as a wide receiver as well as a tight end.
Wasn't that us a couple of weeks ago?
Pardon?
Were you listening to us a couple of weeks ago? I'm sure we said that.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I think 2 weeks ago we said that the reason that Higbee started out snapping Everett was that he was more of the blocking tight end. As they went to a run first offense, Higbee was always on the field. What they did was they started doing a load of RPO stuff. So if they saw the lanes were blocked for Gurley, they'd switch. And you saw it in the last 2 or 3 games because Higbee was an absolute dynamite for DFS because he was low value and he got all the targets at the end of the season. So I think, while Everett does have the draft capital, the fact is that I don't think Everett's ever been targeted as much as Higbee. But I've got Everett in quite a few leagues.
I think he
I think he's still got value.
Yeah, I think when they've both been healthy, I think he has actually. I think I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I think
he targeted. But I mean, Higby. Those last 3 games.
Oh yeah, no. But I totally agree. This is a massive long shot, and especially with regards to the ADPs of both of these in any fantasy league. I wouldn't put it beyond kind of. I'm just saying that I wouldn't be massively surprised if Everett outscored Higby.
Yeah, I don't think it shocked me, and I took him as my tight end too in this. Basically, just because tight ends started flying off the board, so I think I took Higby, knowing that it's fairly solid. But I had Jonnu Smith and Chris Herndon, who are pretty much tight end ones where they are as well. So I'm like covered from that point of view. But because Tyler Higby was going there, my thought process was, if he does what he did at the end of last year, I only need him for 3 to 4 games. And if he has those types of scores, again, if he was brilliant for DFS, he's going to be brilliant for best ball. So it was my thought process of get as many tight ends as possible and just hope that they have different big weeks.
Yeah, no.
And I think that's probably where the spread comes through from him. I mean, one spread that's incredible in there is somebody who's potentially the tight end 3 in that offense, who's OJ Howard, like that.
But I can understand that spread because people are scared with Gronk. But people have to remember with Gronk, he was terrible the last year he played football.
I can totally agree on Howard and the fact that people are going to be concerned with regards to the fact it's Gronk, it's Brady, he's come in, blah blah blah. But Aaron just said that the likelihood is they're going to be their main kind of offensive formation is going to be a 2 tight end set. Yep. And Gronk ain't outrunning anybody.
No, but what Gronk has is that name value where defenses will have to respect him.
Yeah.
Which could very well leave Howard open.
Does anyone think that Howard can outscore Gronk this year? Because I think it's a big possibility.
Yeah,
I agree.
I do. The main reason being, I think health. I think having a year out of playing in the NFL, I think will affect Gronk. I don't think.
Yep.
I don't actually. So part of it is I don't actually think this offense is going to be the big juggernaut that people were necessarily thinking it will be. You're looking at Tom Brady, who the Patriots, who have always been really good at evaluating talent, have said, we don't want you. You've got Mike Evans and Godwin, which I think their numbers have to come down. I mean, the thing is, I think that you'll see the average depth of target come back. Evans will be... I think what you end up seeing is Godwin will be Julian Edelman. He'll just be like really consistent week to week. You'll see Mike Evans will just be quite lumpy because he'll be a big body receiver in the end zone.
I think Mike Evans
Gronk
outscores Godwin this year.
Yeah, I think he definitely scores more touchdowns, 100%. I don't think I'm actually avoiding Godwin in a couple of spots because
going too high.
I think
too low last year. We've gone too high this year. How many targets? I don't know if you still got that stats sheet up, Kingy. How many targets did OJ Howard have last year? And I know it's different QBs, but it's still the same Bruce Arians.
Yeah, one sec. I'll bring it up. One sec.
Bill, I actually think that the anomaly in this is that I actually think Cameron Brate outscores OJ Howard if OJ Howard doesn't get a trade away.
I'll take a bit up with you on that.
Yeah, I'll take a bit as well on that.
If you want to take that, I will quite happily take that bit.
Well,
yeah, me too.
Outscores OJ Howard in this format.
If he stays at Tampa, I'm having OJ Howard.
That's a 3v1, yeah.
Well, Howard saw 53 targets last year for 34 receptions, 459 yards, and 1 touchdown.
What was Cameron Brate?
I'm just seeing if he was even drafted in my league.
Pretty sure that touchdown.
So Cam Brate had 55 targets, 36 receptions, 301 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
Did he outscore him last year?
On that, he would have, yeah. I'm just trying to have a look.
Yeah, pretty sure that OJ Howard touchdown come against the Giants.
Howard missed 2 games last year, I think. I think Rate missed probably the same as well.
So one of the things that actually is
That
in
came
my,
against Arizona, Jack.
Mm.
Yeah.
one of the things
went.
in the projections workbook that you can get on my site is there's a tab called stats, and the way that I look at target percentage is the available targets in the games that they played in, and because it's no good to me saying I had 2% target share, but actually only played 1 game, because that's not indicative of actually what his target share would be.
Mm.
Cameron Brate had 11% and John Howard had 13%, so they're right around the same kind of mark.
Yep.
OJ Howard.
OJ Howard, yeah, sorry.
I do. People, they stop playing 2 tight end sets. People will, with Gronk, it's the name. They've got to show him respect. OJ Howard is the top scorer in tight end on that fantasy team this year.
He's not.
For me, he will be.
I mean, I'll take that bet. I mean, the thing.
You took the bet anyway.
You've already taken the bet.
You've already took the Cameron Brate bet.
Yeah, no, but I'll take the other one as well. Like the.
Okay, I'll take what that you think Brate's going to be the top scoring tight end on Tampa Bay.
I'm saying that I don't think OJ Howard's going to be top scoring tight end there either. Like I'll put them both down.
I'll take that, but I get injuries as well.
Yeah, that's all right with Gronk. To be fair.
I'm sticking with my one AJ Howard bet.
The thing with Gronk is Gronk's used to having that respect, right? And Gronk wasn't great towards the end, but you know, if Brady's going to trust someone, and he does have his trusted people, he's going to trust Gronk every single time over OJ. And to be honest, I'd like to. What I don't know, and I'm doing a little bit of this off the top of my head, is who's the best blocker out of those 3.
Well, it's Gronk. I was going to say that Gronk is going to help the running game more than the receiving game.
Yeah, and I actually
agreed.
I'd be interested to see Cameron Brate's blocking percentage as well, because if Cameron Brate's in there, not just for red zone, and he's a good blocker, what you're actually going to see is you're not going to see enough snaps for OJ Howard to be truly relevant. And I don't think anybody would be shocked if they did actually trade him away, because he's still got good trade value.
Just trade him to the Texans or the Cardinals.
I'd love that. I'd love that.
One of those 2.
If he went back across to the Patriots as like a kind of good trade agreement.
I don't want him on the Patriots.
I think Trevor Lawrence would love him next year.
They're not having the 101.
Does anyone want to bet that Trevor Lawrence isn't the first QB off the board?
Yeah,
I'll take a bit bet.
Yeah.
I don't think he will be. I don't think Trevor Lawrence will be the first QB off the board.
I'm taking that bet. He is.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Cool. Rich, you want involved?
I mean, I think he is, but like, I really feel like it's going to be team dependent.
Oh,
like, who's at the top?
Come on, Rich. You know you want to join me. You know
I
you
can
want
tell
to.
you, it's going to be the Jaguars, and I'm going to cry when he goes there.
No, I'll bite you then. Yeah, I'll take it.
So he's on my side then.
I'm going to cry if Trevor Lawrence goes to the Jaguars. I mean, so Kingy, you reckon you'll have all this up on your website tomorrow?
It's pretty much ready to go. So it's just a case of just tidying it up a little bit. So, yeah.
So people can see that. Thanks for doing that, Kingy. That's it's brilliant. I mean, I could not have done that. Sorry.
It's actually not that bad when you are decent with Excel. So.
Yeah, I'm terrible with Excel. So.
I could have done it.
Of course you could, Tim.
And
do they even have electric up north?
No, my hamster's knackered though. Just from doing this void.
That's where you sent your daughter, didn't you? To the little like hamster wheel outside.
Hamster wheel, get her running. That's it, mate. To be fair, she's waiting to finish so we can finish this pod.
So that's what that noise is. That sort of hoovering noise going on.
Yeah, I was wondering what the fuck that was.
That's my 10-year-old computer.
thought it was Kingy's Dyson in the background. It's Henry Huber.
Kingy, once again, thank you for everything you've done for the Steve Rains Bowl. It's been brilliant. It really has, and it got the response that all three of us wanted.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, I mean, it was a pleasure to be asked, and it's a pleasure that it's kind of been as well received as it has been. So let's hope that we have a season we can ultimately crown me as the winner.
I mean, that's not happening, but
Good one, Kimasabi.
With the 59th pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Roberto Aguayo, kicker, Florida State. Yeah, kickers are second rounders too, baby.
Right, gents, the time has come for the world famous Robbie Aguayo corner, where it'll either be a hit. There's been way too many hits recently, actually, if I'm honest, or a wide right miss. Rich, seeing as you went last the last time you were on, I'm going to make you go first this time. What have you got, mate? Hit or miss?
You went 3 times.
I'm pretty sure you actually made me go first last time because I said,
Damn
"Can I
it,
go
you
last?"
remember. Damn it, you
Yeah.
remembered.
Well, a mini hit. Shipment 24/7 is back, so you know,
woohoo!
praise be. But aside from that, just getting ready for draft season. Really, I'm just like really looking forward to it. With the UK Fantasy League kicking off, and you know this having happened, and the FFCC is going to be kicking off as well, which I'm part of sorting out as well. I'm just excited for the season, really.
I'm the champion.
Not this year.
Just it doesn't matter. I'm the first ever. You will never ever take that away. So
Oh, you got any good stories?
I'm kind of a big deal. Sorry.
In your own home.
No, I'm not even a big deal here, mate. To be honest.
Anything else, Rich, or is that it, buddy?
Yeah, that's all my hits. Yeah.
Cool. Timbo, what have you got, mate? Hit or miss?
Miss. It's just a general rant. I'm fucking sick of negative people, mate. I try to not surround myself with people who just see the worst in absolutely everything. And there just seems to be loads of it about the minute. And if you look at it from a fancy point of view, everyone's being like a bit too negative about what's going on. And the NFL is trying to get stuff sorted. So is the Players Association as well. And the players, you know, if you've not got a good reason to play, people are wanting to play. And I can understand a lot of people who are bowing out the season. You know, the virus is still kicking about and it's still bad. But generally, just negativity. I try and be as positive as I can as a person. I think we need more of that in society because there can just be too much negativity about. So for me, it's a miss, and people just start looking for the positive in stuff and project that out there on social media as well. Because if you're not going to do that, then I think I'm getting a catchphrase, but you can just get fucked. So that's my like little rant with some personal stuff going on.
Cool. Jack, what have you got, mate? Hit or miss?
What have I got? I got a bit of a hit. Been playing a lot of golf again recently. Played really well on Saturday. Took my brother-in-law for 50 quid, which is always nice. And when I say played really well, I've played 4 over par the whole round on 18. So yeah, it's nice to get my game back a bit. Haven't played this well since about 18, maybe 17, 18. So yeah, it's just nice to get my game back. And yeah, I'm enjoying playing golf again.
Good. That's nice to hear, mate.
Good knock, mate. Good knock. That drive was unlucky.
Yeah, my drive, that was on the Sunday. So I went on Sunday and then I absolutely pinged the drive down a par 4, about 300 yards, and then I got to the ball, and it was in the top of the face of a bunker that'd been burrowed by a rabbit or something. So yeah, I got a bit unlucky there. But luckily it was a free drop with COVID at the minute. So thank God for COVID. More free drops in golf.
Fuck COVID. COVID can fuck itself. Anything else, mate?
Quick shout out to Dynasty Diagnostic, actually. Good podcast. Yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, guys. Appreciate the love.
Yeah, I mean, the tweet I put out earlier on in the week, I mean, you know, we think you're a dickhead, Jack. But it's obvious what you've done for the community and the people that you've done out over in the States. This isn't, you know, sung up your arse, but to get mentioned on that pod and you know, Scott Fish, Stompy, Etan, who we had on not too long ago, you know, all said positive things about what you do for the community. And you know, I know I am, I know Jamie is, and Rich probably is.
No, we do it as a podcast. It's not just me. So we do it as it's a family.
From you and what, and you know, some of this is your reputation with those guys. You know, that transcends definitely myself being on this pod. So no, mate, I think that was a really nice thing to say. And I mean, your roster got a 6 out of 10. I'd have given it a 6.5. So, but yeah, it was nice to hear that praise on another pod for you, and they shouted out us on the pod to get more listeners. So, you know, we're thankful for that.
Yeah, I'd say we do it as a podcast. It's not just me. So we're getting a bigger team here at the minute, but we're a team.
Yeah, we are.
That we are, boys. That we are. What have I got? I'll start with a miss because, well, we need more misses. Friday, 30 degrees. Fuck off.
Is that this Friday?
Yep, 30 degrees. Can go fuck itself. I've got a really busy day. I'm outside mowing all day. I do not need 30 bloody degrees. Go away. Just give me 20 degrees with the light breeze.
Can you make a TikTok of you covered in sunblock?
Man, don't wear sunblock. I brown. Luckily, I don't burn. I'm very lucky. Apart from my head. Apart from the head. I have to wear a hat.
Here, have the syrup on that though.
The hat is constantly on. And a hit is the same as the week before and the week before that. Shameless plug at season-long DFS. We've had nearly double what the entrants we had in year one, which is good. Still going to be we've got 43 days till the start of the season, apparently. So they'll be making a big push, and I'm going to come up with a couple of other ideas to kind of promote it. But yeah, there's one of a kind DFS season-long DFS competition that nowhere else does it. You can't find it anywhere else, and it's really good fun. So check it out at season-long DFS on Twitter, or www.seasonlongdfs.com.
That reminds me, actually, I need to send my money for that.
That's right, mate.
So I shall do it tonight.
I already sent mine. So I've actually got an EV edge over all of you, but that's between me and Jamie.
Yeah, Rich sent $24.99 instead of 25.
By the way,
what a dick!
I've got one of my mates that does that to every single one of us, and I find it hilarious. But you've got other mates who chase him for the 1p. It's really.
I just want to let you know, Rich, that I've taken the 1p out of Isabel's money box, so you've stolen from my daughter.
I mean, I did also say in the message, literally below, I can send you the 1p if you want. But
Don't worry about it.
I was joking with Jamie when he originally started talking about this. I said, I'm going to send you 1 penny less so that I have an EV edge over the rest of the field. And I think he thought I was joking. So
I expected it. As soon as it came through, I knew I was waiting for it, mate.
It's going to escalate now because I'm going to send 2p less just to.
Oh, you're all thieving from my daughter.
See, and this is why I didn't say it Jamie.
Oh, I
because
don't care.
Now there's
I
going
don't
to be
care.
one-upmanship.
No, it doesn't
Well,
matter.
I'm going to send 24.97.
And I will knock 3 points off every single week to people who do that. But yeah, no, I'm genuinely looking forward to it this year. I had a target of how many people I wanted. I'm nowhere near it yet. I've just got to push it really because everyone loves DFS. It's getting massive over here. It's the NFL's coming. No one's had any real sport, so it's something to really look forward to. And I reckon I had 25% of the people in year one say it was their favourite league, which to me blew my head away because it's just a bit. They're all in so many different leagues, and this is something totally different that you're not finding anywhere else. So
DFS is great. I don't really play in redraft anymore because I just play DFS. I've got my dynasty teams. Obviously, we know Scott Fishbowl's redraft, but like we play in a lot of best balls as well. I'd rather just play in best balls or DFS. I'm not about redraft.
in some ways, I prefer best ball, not best ball, DFS to anything.
Yeah, I do.
It's so much fun.
Yeah,
it's such a good laugh.
Because you try and find little. It's like me with the Lions thing. I know we laughed about the Trey Quinn thing last time out, but it's you try and find little snippets, little things like to get that little edge over someone. You're like, oh,
exactly.
I could save a bit of money here. So maybe if I do this, maybe if I play Trey Quinn.
Yeah, exactly. You have to take a risk occasionally. The fact with the season on DFS is it goes to week 17, and it goes nuts in week 17 when you've got players who aren't playing. You've got some of the teams last year were ridiculous in week 17. Yeah. You're playing like fourth stringers because you're thinking they might play half a game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's all good fun.
That's great, mate. You can find us on Twitter at kickers_matter. Our website is kickersmatterfantasyfootball.co.uk. Kingy, where can we find your lovely work? I'm sure everyone knows by now, but
you can find it kfantasy_sports or kingfantasysports.com.
And Fantasy Pros.
Yeah,
and Fantasy Pros, yeah, kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal, yeah.
Jack, can you just sort out those leather-bound books and that mahogany bookcase? That'd be great. Thanks.
Yeah, I can do that for you, mate. I can sort that out for you. No worries. Thank you, gentlemen, and I look forward to taking the Steve Rains Bowl belt.
That's not happening, mate.
Ever.
I mean, it is.